Hello, everyone. Welcome to Feet Planted LLC. We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Karen Maple Felton, and we are here on the last day of Women's History Month. And I'm delighted. I told y'all I had a surprise. You've heard her snicker when I did my previous lives, holding the phone and answering questions. You heard her talking in the distance. Now you get to meet my little sister, Joccelyn E. Coleman. How are you today?
Hey, Karen. I'm good. It's Friday. Still Women's History Month.
Yes.
Feeling good, feeling great.
That is wonderful. So I think I fixed my music, y'all. So we just don't mind us if we just let it roll. I understand it is Friday. It is the end of the week. You all are probably somewhere with your feet kicked up, maybe watching a movie, finishing a good dinner. It doesn't matter. We are still here. So join us whenever you can and enjoy the party with us. All right, so let's go ahead. Turn the music down a little bit. There we go. So how you doing this evening, Miss Joccelyn?
I am great. I'm great. We made it through another week, another month. We're at the end of March already.
Yes, I remember when we started Women's History Month. We kicked it off with my big sister, my womb mate, Dr. Karita Mayfield, and we are at the end of March. I don't know where the time went, but I can tell you this has been a joy for me. This has been an opportunity to learn from so many women in the STEM space, and you are going to be the cherry on the top. And she's wearing red, so she looks like a little cherry anyway. If you are just joining, we are giddy. We're happy and excited. It is still Women's History Month, and the theme is women leading with courage. And so just to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way, I'm the owner of Feet Planted LLC. I am a STEM professional that created a company so that I can help early career professionals succeed in their STEM journey as well as life. If you have any questions, you're curious about what Feet Planted LLC is about, I'm going to throw up my webpage, www.feetplantedllc.com. Feel free to check me out and look at some of the passions and things that we're planning. That's where I post my events, my services, all the good stuff. We're not going to get into that right now because right now the focus is Miss Joccelyn Coleman. And one other tidbit before we get started, if you have questions and you're able to get to a chat feature, please post questions for Miss Coleman. She will be more than happy to answer them. If you're vibing with what we're saying, if you're agreeing, or if you have something to add, please post those comments as well. I will put them up on the screen during the course of this evening. But without further ado, Joccelyn E. Coleman, now that you know a little bit about me, what we're doing here, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. So, first and foremost, before I get started, Karen, thank you for having me on here. This is a big honor, honestly, especially within Women's History Month. So I just want to tell you thank you. So yes, my name is Joccelyn Coleman, Joccelyn E. Coleman to be exact. Currently, I am a computer scientist with Marine Corps Systems Command, and that has a lot within it. And we'll get into that later. On top of that, I am a leader in my community within several different organizations, and I just love to volunteer, help out the next person. A lot of people have helped me to get me where I am, so I want to be like that same person to the younger generation, the next generation coming up. Originally from Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City. And yes, I'm going to rep Alabama to the fullest. So not the University of Alabama, for those of y'all watching, but the state of Alabama. Okay. So yes, that's just a little bit about me. And believe it or not, I'm more of a behind the scenes person. Like Karen told you all, and like many of y'all have seen and heard, I'm a bit of behind the scenes with Feet Planted. and a few other organizations that are really helping people. And that's kind of what I love. I know that wasn't formal, and that kind of went all over the place, but that's just a little bit about me. Fun fact: I am 4'10". Okay, that's all.
So, first and foremost, you understand when we affectionately call her a little bit. I'm just putting all your business out there. That's why, because she's tiny. But she is extremely modest, but that's okay. We're gonna peel back the onion and learn a little bit more about her and her STEM journey and how she has been courageous through it all. I happen to have her bio as I do all my guests here. I kind of don't really need it. I met Miss Coleman. Has it been 5 years ago? 5?
About 5 now, yes.
5 years ago when I worked at Marine Corps Systems Command, and I recruited her as part of the SMART program. She'll talk about what SMART is probably during one of the questions. But one of the things that I really enjoy about Ms. Coleman, as well as the other guests, not just because we're STEM sisters, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but we are multi-talented. We are multifaceted. We have depth and we have breadth. Breadth. I got to pronounce that D. And the joy for me in doing this, I'm pretty sure somebody out there is just like, so you just gonna have people on here, you're just gonna talk about them. Absolutely. I am passionate about making sure that women are seen and heard. And I just happen to be in the company in relationship with phenomenal women who are really, they're not unsung. They people do know, the contributions that they bring, but I just want to amplify. I just want to amplify and let everybody know. So part of Ms. Coleman's behind the scenes is that when I first went live, so I'm techie, but she's younger techie. So she would be, my tech support. As you all know, we can't stream on Instagram yet. Instagram, if you're watching, I know you're gonna fix that real soon. So she was helping me with that. But I told you we're gonna take baby out of the corner. Okay, we're gonna take her out of the corner. We're gonna put her in front of you so that you could understand the background, understand her story, and understand how she has been leading with courage academically in her job, and as you heard in the beginning, in the community. So before we start getting to questions about courage specifically, talk to us about your journey in STEM from any vantage point. What was your spark? What encouraged you to not only progress to a bachelor's degree, but you also pursued your master's? Just kind of help us a little bit understand that process.
Sure, sure. Well, let's start from the beginning. Growing up, both of my parents, to a degree, they were both in STEM. My dad, shout out, I call my dad Poppy. Hey, Poppy. Shout out to Poppy. He is a high school teacher. He teaches biology and physical science and has been for now a little bit over 30 years. So shout out to him. Black male educator. We need more. So just a quick plug. um, but he's always been in STEM and fascinated with it. I love that. My mother, she was a self-taught, basically computer whiz, for lack of better terms. And just with those two at the pure foundation, like that just made me feel like I need to be in this STEM space. Of course, I was younger and I didn't really, it wasn't as crystal clear as it is now, but I always knew I was going to be in STEM then. I wanted to be a doctor or a surgeon. I always told myself I was going to be a cardiovascular surgeon. It didn't happen, but but I had the support. My parents, they allowed me to go to like a conference when I was in high school for upcoming high school students that wanted to be doctors or surgeons in the future. That gave me that exposure. But going to college, I started out as a chemical engineering major. Uh, yes, 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 Karen. I know. But um, I ended up graduating within the College of Business with the information systems management degree. Um, which is fine. But during that time in college, it's like chemical engineering, information systems management. um, tragedy struck while I was in college, and I lost my mother at that time. And she was one of my, sole like people that was supporting me through chemical engineering, and it's already hard, right? Already hard. It was tough for me to bounce back, just being open and honest. It was tough. Didn't do too well. And the support that I wish I had from my professors at the time, from my advisor at the time, it was not there. There was one professor, shout out to Dr. Byrne at Auburn University. He was very supportive. I think I was taking thermodynamics or heat transfer at the time, but he was very supportive. Other than that, didn't get it. That ultimately led to me getting kicked out of engineering, the College of Engineering. And yeah, I hate saying that. It just ooh, I hate saying it. But I did, went on to the College of Business, pursued and earned my College of Business Information Systems Management within the Business Administration degree. Made some good changes over there. I can talk about that later. And then I started out with my first, out of school job as a IT consultant within Atlanta, Georgia, for about 7 months. And I quickly found out that I wanted to do something a bit more technical. I was working with a lot of like engineers, sales engineers, and I was like, I can do that. Like, I want to do what you do, And I was talking to them, and a lot of different individuals. They were giving me ideas: computer science, cybersecurity, networking. And quickly, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get a computer science degree. At first, I thought about going back for another bachelor's, but um, I ended up earning my master's of science in computer science from Alabama A&M University. Go Bulldogs! And and while pursuing my master's, I was a graduate teaching assistant, and I also applied and earned and was a SMART scholar. I was part of the 2018 SMART Scholarship for Service cohort, and SMART is the Science, Mathematics, and Research Transformation Scholarship for Service within the DoD. And it's basically for people that are pursuing their bachelor's, master's, or PhD in a STEM field. Um, the DoD supports them, pays for them to go to school, and also some other fees besides just tuition, and you get a stipend. Um, it's amazing. Yes, I'm gonna plug that all day. um, it was amazing. It really helped me because at that time I was like, what am I gonna do? What's happening? I had some choices, but really for me, I accepted the SMART scholarship. And with that, they pay for you to go to school and you pay them back by working within the DoD at your sponsoring facility for that same amount of time they pay for you to go to school. And for me, it was Marine Corps Systems Command. Shout out to Miss Karen Felton and others, but shout out to Miss Karen. My sponsoring facility was Marine Corps Systems Command. So as soon as I graduated with my master's, I came on board with Marine Corps Systems Command as a computer scientist, working within the cybersecurity branch. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I've grown, been there for a little bit over 3 years now. I met a lot of great people, continuously learning within the STEM field in several different areas. And who knows, maybe going for another degree, maybe a PhD or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's been my STEM journey.
So I'm just sitting over here beaming. I'm just sitting over here beaming. What I loved about your story is that you were able to triumph through adversity. We all have a bit of struggle in our backgrounds, and if you haven't, talking to the green button, you will just keep living, and it's quite all right. So, if you didn't hear her clearly, she majored in chemical engineering, and she didn't do well due to life. Life does happen, and you were able to I don't want to say reinvent yourself, but you were able to get back on your feet. You struggled. You had to grieve, and you had to find your way. What is really important about courage is that it is actionable, and you have to do something. So, since you led us in that direction, tell us what were some of the things that you did um, to get yourself back? Uh, I don't want to say back, but get yourself on a new path.
No, understood. So for example, at Auburn, everything changed. Like, as soon as I came back to school from, the loss of my mom, I quickly was like, I guess I can't stay on campus anymore. Okay. Scholarships gone. Had to change colleges. So I had to get an apartment, had to get a job, had to change my major. And I was kicked, like, I think the key thing I wanna put here, I was kicked out of the College of Engineering. So, I couldn't graduate with an engineering degree, and that hurt. So, I had to quickly reevaluate. Um, I really had to do, like, an analysis on where do I see myself in the future and what's going to benefit me best at this point in time. Because let's be real, I can make different decisions later on in life, but right now, in this present moment, we gotta do something, and life keeps going, I can't wait, and no one's gonna tell me what to do. I had to grow up quickly, and I gotta make these decisions, and I'm doing it scared, and if you ask me, what is courage? Doing it scared. Doing it scared and from a place of discomfort. And that's when I got my first taste of being courageous, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, so went into the College of Business, and while I was there, I saw with my own experience there was a lack of people to support you and resources to help someone that was maybe in a situation like myself. Hey, I'm coming over to a new college after being in to it. Well, I'm sorry, into a like a new college, like a new field of study after being in college at the university for 2 years. So I'm out of my weed out courses. I'm onto the major courses. I am really starting from scratch is kind of where I'm getting at right now. And I didn't have any well, I felt like I had very little resources. I had don't get me wrong, I had a lot of people at Auburn that helped, but I had very few resources to help me in my specific situation, if that makes sense. And so with that, I helped to start up the Underclassmen Advisory Council within the College of Business at Auburn University. And that was a wonderful, great opportunity that I had that was presented with me. And the group of us that started that, chartered that really, they are amazing. They're doing great things now. And we just saw a need for people like us, people that are coming into college. We may be first generation. I wasn't, but there were some that were first generation college students, people who are coming from different fields of studies, but for whatever reasons, and people who just need additional resources to make it to succeed. So started that. Um, some other things like while I was in let's see, I was getting my master's. Helped charter. And oh man, I'm realizing now. Yeah, chartered the student chapter for the Association for Computing Machinery at Alabama A&M University. I was the chairperson, the first chairperson, and I chartered that along with well as a master's student, graduate student. And I had my lovely group of my undergraduate, I call them my babies. Those are my OG babies. And they are doing great things now. Some of them are continued ACM, Association for Computing Machinery members. And again, to give us resources to help us succeed. So those are just a few things. I don't want to go too much into it. Just let me know.
No, you dropped some gems. What I love about meeting different people, especially women of color, is that our stories are similar. I had a guest on last night, and I had a guest a couple of weeks ago say almost identical processes. I'm going to repeat the self assessment. You answered my first question. My question was going to be, what does courage mean to you? So you get the questions ahead of time, but I love it. Doing it scared. Fear does not fear is not absent when we activate courage. We do the thing, whatever it is, in spite of and in addition to having the butterflies in our stomach and not necessarily having all of the answers. And you did it from a place of discomfort. Very soon, a little shameless plug for the month of April, there will be a show up course that will be shown on my platform. And one of those modules is how to and being willing to be uncomfortable. And so it's not an accident that you're pulling the thread on all of these attributes and behaviors, because they are when you are courageous, when you do it, you discover these opportunities. And so you even went on to be heads of council. I know it's on your bio, but you through that were able to find your niche. You were able to find opportunities to not just thrive, but to give back. So, folks, when we step into what is not known, it requires belief in yourself and the ability to know that what waits on the other side is going to be different, not necessarily better, but what's going to be new, and just the aperture will open is that you'll be different. You will have gone through that process and that journey, and you're different. I mean, you went from getting kicked out of the chemical engineering department to pursuing a master's and being a leader in your own right within uh, getting your master's degree. And I think that that is remarkable. Now, before someone comes for me in their mind, they're like, well, that's not everybody's story. Correct. Everybody's journey is different. Some of our struggles and our challenges are going to pull on different muscles and pull on different areas that we need to develop. So whatever is unique to you, that will be obviously your experience. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, folks, just so you understand, I give five simple questions. I gave the same questions to everyone, but what's unique is that each individual was able to apply, had different pressures, different circumstances, and was still able to emerge. Um, I want to say blessed, and was able to bless others. And oh, by the way, it doesn't stop. We're still growing. The word that I circled and underlined is maturation, which is the process of maturing. I'm not trying to be brand new. These are the words that I use, y'all. Y'all just gotta come on with me. It's not even a big word, to be honest with you, but that process, what courage will do, the unknown, it'll grow you in ways that you didn't even realize. I absolutely love it. So before we go to my next point in question, you also mentioned the SMART, science, mathematics, and research for transformation. I was able to type that in while you were sharing your story. So I appreciate you giving me time to do that. If you're interested in a SMART program, this is the URL. I extremely encourage you to research about it. Go to their site. There is a lot of opportunity there, and I can do a plug because I used to be the program manager for that program, and I know the opportunities are astounding. Miss Coleman has been able to benefit from that opportunity. So I'm going to leave it up here, and I'll bring it back so that you all can share that and just do your own research. Don't take our word for it. Just look it up and see for yourself. So you shared with us. I love recaps. You shared with us sort of what you were able to do, but what helped you be? What is so that was past. So you're not a master's student anymore. You're a full-on early career professional. What helps you be courageous now? Because that was the I want to say lesson, but that was what you had to go through at that time. I'm sure now you're going through other and new things because as one of my famous rappers said, once you level up, the guy just gets bigger. So the obstacle they don't get smaller as you grow, they get bigger. So what's helped you be courageous in this season that you're in right now?
Sure, sure. So in this season that I'm in right now, knowing that there are other people looking at me and what I'm doing, and that's giving them the motivation, the inspiration to either keep going or to step out into what's uncomfortable for them, but that's needed for them to level up. Um, because like I said before, I was looking at people. There were other people that I'm looking at that's giving me like the the inspiration I needed to get up there. And then also like I have mentees, I have siblings, I have family members that are looking at me, coming to me for advice. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I'm interested in doing X, Y, and Z. I can't I can't give up, and I have to keep going because they're looking at me. And I may just be one person, of course, out of others, but still they're looking at me and they're coming to me. And if I want to be this person that's reaching back and giving to others like people did to me so I could get to this point, I have to keep going and I have to keep showing up. So that's first and foremost. Also, knowing that I didn't come this far just to come this far. And that's a whole nother thing. I'm not gonna take y'all to church today, but I didn't come this far just to
Come
come
on
this
now.
far. I'm just I'm just saying, don't get me started now. But no, but seriously, like when when I was in school, I'm like, oh man, I'm still a student. But I know after I'm a student, I'm gonna start working. And now I'm working. I'm still an early career professional, right? But I know that I'm building my foundation now so that I can level up later in whatever that may look like. But I'm still gonna pull this person behind me up. I'm still gonna look out for my siblings and pull them up. My family members that even older family members that have other dreams and aspirations. I may be giving them that spark that they need. And that's what keeps me going, honestly. And there's other people that have been in similar situations I've been into or in the situation I'm in now. Yeah, we gonna get this together. So
All the way
that's kind of
together.
yeah, all the way. Karen, me and you to the top, baby. No.
Right. That's right. I absolutely love it. And so there's a phrase from scripture. We're both women of faith, iron sharpening iron. What I love about, and I say this all the time, and I'm not going to stop saying it. I believe in living and walking in purpose. And I want to be able to build community. That's one of the goals of Feet Planted LLC is to build community because just like you said, someone helped you, you looked up to someone, I looked up to men and women, even though it's Women's History Month, both men and men and women from different backgrounds, cultures, ethnic groups, were able to help me sort of square myself when I wasn't sure, when my footing wasn't sure. And so I really appreciate the fact that you lean forward and you're willing to reach out and back, especially through your community service to help others. Well, since you mentioned it, can you tell us? It goes with the next question, but I'm going to reserve the next question for later. But how are you helping the students and your mentees um, excel in STEM, have courage? Like, what are some of the things that you tell them? Give us a peek into your mentoring a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Um, so we can start with like being a mentor at work. Even though I am still early career professional, or an early career professional, I still am like a mentor, unofficial or peer mentor at work. Um, you know, expressing, hey, this is what happens. This is why we do X, Y, and Z. Or taking someone under my wing and showing them like what I do, so that I can give them that extra skill set that they may need to propel and go forth onto something else or within the same role. But that's one. Two, and that's at work. But two, in the community. Well, no, let me go back. Even in work, just basic professional skills or basic skills to get you um, to just do personal development to help with that. That's another thing too. Let me not cut that one short. The other thing is in the community. I actively participate and am on the board of Tomorrow's Cultivating Youth Incorporated. Quick plug. And this organization um, looks to uplift and mentor and motivate and inspire the youth within Prince William County, and within the Northern Virginia area. Um, that is amazing. And I love working with them because we have so many youth. I'm talking high schoolers, middle schoolers, and we don't know what all their backgrounds are, but we're there to be a listening ear. We're there to give them a light when they need it, and we're there to help them excel within school, and to even think about, hey, you can have a bright and wonderful future, and we can help plant those seeds right now. See what I did there? Feet planted. Anyway, so it's that's another one. And I really love working with those youth. We just had a celebration for our high school seniors, where they told us what colleges they really want to go to, and have decided at this point. And I have a few directly that I'm working with, trying to get those scholarships and telling me their hopes and dreams, and they wanted to work in cybersecurity. Quick plug on that one too. And it's just, again, sometimes just being that listening ear, and sometimes plugging them in, giving them resources that they need that they don't know just yet. It really can go far. And it's not something that's too far out of reach. I really encourage anybody and everyone who is listening, if you're not already doing community service, please look into it, especially with our youth. All of us have jobs. Well, let me not say all of us. Most of us have jobs. Most of us come with, I'm sorry. Most of us come with, most of us come with wonderful skill sets that we can, really help someone else, help the next person out. And I really believe that we can really help and benefit the youth. So I'm just a quick plug in there. Help the youth, be somebody for them, be a resource for them. It goes far. So that's just that on that.
Oh, that is honorable. I didn't mean to do the aw, like, it wasn't genuine, but that is extremely important. Before I get too far ahead, I'm just going to put this up here, and if you want to text me the URL, I can put that up as well. But she mentioned Tomorrow's Cultivating Youth Incorporated, excellent organization, based, I want to say, in Woodbridge, but again, serving Prince William County. So if you do not have an organization that you give your time and your talents to, I highly encourage that you find one wherever you are. Don't know where your home base is, where you happen to live, but I can guarantee you there's somebody that needs your experience, someone that needs the benefit of what you have learned, and I highly encourage you to share it. So I do have that link. Thank you so much. I'm just going to put that up. I'm going to leave that up while I make this comment. So for those of you all that know me, and if you're just meeting me, hi, how are you? We're here for Women's History Month, the last day of Women's History Month. I tell people all the time that I want to be and need to be transparent about my journey. I'm a reformed knucklehead. The woman that you see before you was not always was not always this way. And so it took men and women to come to my aid, to help me sort out some things personally and professionally. And I humbly think, there's too many to name, but I appreciate the managers, the supervisors that saw something in me and that pulled me aside and said, I think you should do it this way, or the way that you're going about it is not going to be fruitful, and I recommend you pivot in this direction. So here's my question. What more can we do? I know we're STEM professionals, because that's the platform, but really any professional. What more can we do to help students and early career professionals pivot. We're available, there's mentors everywhere. And specifically when we see behavior and characteristics that need a little tweaking, what would be an approach that you think would be beneficial? And there's a specific reason why I'm asking you that.
Okay. Well, I hope I answered this right, but but no, I would really say, kind of like I said before, get involved, especially within the community if there are certain organizations. But the other thing is, whether it's within an organization or just youth that you know and have some type of a connection with, take them under your wing, and really share with them what helped you and what you may see, like you said, what you may see they need to, improve on. Hey, maybe you should do things this way and it will help you get further because of X, Y, and Z. Like, if you just take them under your wing, just have a conversation. It doesn't have to be too overbearing, especially with youth. Because I know people tried to help me, but I'm thinking I know everything. Um, and if someone comes off too overbearing, I was like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. But it has to be genuine. And if you really, really want to help the next person, especially if someone helped you, or maybe they didn't, and maybe that's why you feel like, hey, I want to make sure the next person is helped so they don't have to go through all of the rough patches, but it has to be genuine. Um, I would just say do it as best as you can and as genuine as you know how to. Doesn't have to be anything too formal. You can volunteer. You can show up if they have a STEM day or some type of, at work, whatever type of day they may have where high schoolers or middle schoolers are coming there, show up and support. Be there to talk if they have questions. Just try not to shut out the young people because they may not know what they're talking about. They actually will. They're going to be the adults one day. It's just really important to instill in them the knowledge that you have at this point, and really help them out. That's that's just me. But be genuine.
Yes, that's excellent advice, and we talked prior to me hitting the live button, and so we're tiptoeing into this conversation. But what I wanted to say first, I'm going to talk to the green button again, is my younger sisters and brothers, whether you're in post secondary, whether you're early career professional, when someone that is seasoned offers to buy you coffee, take you to lunch, or not all of us are good at giving unsolicited feedback. That's feedback that wasn't asked for. That's my soft way of saying, can I give you some unsolicited feedback? Because that's what someone did to me. Don't automatically assume that it's bad, but be willing to put pride aside and listen. That takes courage to receive feedback. Not necessarily knowing whether it's genuine or not, but to receive it and to hear it and then to take it, because that was one of my issues. Again, being fully transparent. I want you all to learn from the mistakes. I thought I knew it all. You couldn't tell me nothing. And there's somebody out there that's whispering, she's still like that. Mind your business. But on the real, I really I put so much pressure on myself that when someone would come to kind of say, hey, have you tried it this way, I immediately was defensive. I need all of us, the ones coming up, those that are seasoned, to really take the time and listen. Listening is a part of having courage. It takes courage to listen to feedback, solicited, unsolicited, and then discern whether or not what you're going to do next. And so that's a big part of bridging the gap, and making sure that we reach out. And I'll be quite frank. Talk to the green button. Sometimes folks are hesitant to reach out because of how we respond when we are reached to. And I think grace is needed, because not everybody knows how to provide that feedback with the sensitivity sometimes. And I have learned personally and professionally, and I'm still learning, that it is best. You are going to learn so much more when you are not the smartest person in the room. If you are the smartest person in the room, leave the room, period. You need to be around people that can feed into you. And this is not just about STEM, but it's the courage of giving it and receiving it. And so I'm going to lead into that conversation that we talked about. What can professionals do who may work with younger professionals? I'm not going to do generations and name them. I'll get them wrong. And I don't want to necessarily offend anybody, but let's just keep it real. In the STEM space, we've got different demographics. We're women of color. We've already talked about how many times we've went into the room, in the office, in the meeting, and we're the only ones. But there are also times when our early career professionals are the youngest in the room. Doesn't matter your grade, what you were hired as, what you're being paid, but you are the rest of your peers. There's a significant gap in some organizations. Talk to us about how we can best approach our younger professionals in order to include them, instill courage, and really make headway for them in their journey. I know that was a lot, but I think you know where I'm going.
No, that was good. Because I was actually going to bring it up and say that at times when people are trying to help you out, that person may not be a seasoned person that's helping you out. They may be younger. Um and so this fits
Very
in
true.
perfectly. It- this fits in perfectly. Because I have experienced that. I am one of the younger people, like on my team. Once upon a time, I was the youngest, but I'm still, I'm still like I think the second youngest on my team now. It's it sometimes can be a struggle. Um, and when I say on my team, not only just talking about work, primarily yes at work, but in other avenues as well. Because I'm involved like with different organizations. One of them being TCY, but they're pretty supportive. But there's other organizations I'm part of, and yeah, I'm the youngest or one of the youngest. I'm in the boat with the youngins. um, I'm also involved. Again, I'm a woman of faith, and I'm involved with my church. Again, being involved, I'm also one of the younger people that's heavily involved there. And so sometimes our voice, it's heard and then it's taken and thrown aside. um, Sometimes it's not even heard. It's kind of just like going in one ear and out the other, or it's just completely silent. And I would advise to not have that type of have that type of approach, because you're going to drive all your young people away, out of work, out of organizations, out of whatever. Because we'll just jump and go wherever where we see fit for us. And I think that that's a key a key difference in generations. And even the people younger than me, they have no problem leaving a situation or leaving a place that they do not feel like is a fit for them, because with the main reason being they're not being heard, they're not valued. And I've definitely experienced that. And the way to get through that, and some just advice I would say, I try to be consistent. Um, I said try. I changed that up quick because I know some of y'all watching. You like Joccelyn. I'm like, yep. I changed it up. I changed it up. Okay. I try to be consistent, and with that, I'm saying continuously showing up. I have ideas. I'm going to say the ideas. Now, if you heard them or not, that's on you. But when things go wrong, and then you're like, why didn't anybody? Well, we did. Um, we did. But eventually, the light bulb was going to go off. My poppy, again, I call my dad Poppy. My poppy used to always say that one day the light bulb will go off. And it does eventually, because you realize you're hurting yourself by not listening to this person who may be younger than you, who may not look like you, who may whatever. But these young folks, we, them, us, whoever, know a lot, especially within STEM, especially within technology. And not listening to them is potentially hurting you. Um,
Mm.
and that's just some key information I would like to share with people. I want to say, Karen, I hope you don't mind me saying, but with us, like I'm Karen has a wonderful, wonderful platform with Feet Planet. Another shameless plug. But with getting getting Feet Planet LLC off the ground, social media, Karen, I hope you don't mind me saying, I had no problem doing it, and she received it very well. I was giving tips to Karen about social media. Hey, do this, try this. Um, you know, put your Instagram post on your stories. Put links in there. Put music in there. Make it engaging. Change the color up. Go on TikTok. Everything. I was shooting it to Karen, and she wasn't like, "Oh, you don't know nothing. I got this. This is my business." No, she was receiving it. She says, okay, yeah, because you know what you're doing on Instagram. Oh yeah, you know what you're doing on Facebook. Oh, you're getting the likes. You're right, yeah. But the reality is everyone's not like Karen. If I had people react more like Karen, I would probably smile a lot more, and I smile a lot. But the reality is, a lot of people are just like, I don't need to know nothing about that. That's for y'all young folks. I got this. I've been doing this for X amount of years, and that's why it ain't working, because you've been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years, and you just on a flat line, or you slowly declining. But if you would listen to your young folks, because we are the future, you could exponentially go up. But no, you choose not to. So anyway, sorry about
You
that.
better preach today. Message, message, message. So, I love a good recap. The reason I asked that question is because having been a leader in an organization with the responsibility to recruit and retain members of the workforce, that has been a priority. And so prior to COVID, it's a priority. It's a priority now. You said some things that I just need the foot stomp. But before I do that, we got the amen corner in here. Tierra was just like, come on now. And I 100% agree. Now, I would love to say that I always listen to you. You and I both know that that's not true. Sometimes I was like, yeah, okay. Uh, but I'll be honest with you. Listening is a skill, and it takes courage. It really takes courage to put your pride aside. I'm going to unpack what you said. You said oftentimes heard but not acted upon. So this is Women's History Month. We're talking to a woman leading with courage, talking to the green button. Whenever you watch this, if you are a member of leadership in any company, organization, organism, it doesn't matter what, if you have younger folks in that environment willing to speak up, you better listen. And the reason that I say that is because it takes courage for us to even open our mouths. And when we do and get shut down, oh, that's a wrap. And then what some of my seasoned colleagues will do is they say, well, they're not saying anything. You send out those surveys. I love those corporate surveys about culture, and you ask those questions. Nobody fills them out. You know why? Because you don't listen to people real time. And that is a flaw that we need to fix. And I'm going to say my generation, regardless of your age, everyone wants to be seen and heard. There's a time and a place, but by far and large, I am hearing from one of my other guests who says the same thing, is that not only are they not listening, but oftentimes when they're asked, you also said that they need to make their voices heard. So I'm going to flip the script and talk to my early career workforce folks and say, you may be in an environment where you may face opposition. You could tell when people are placating you. What that means is basically they're saying, tell me more, and they're really not listening. There's a level of maturity that says, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to let my voice be heard. And sometimes you can't let it go. Sometimes you need to follow it up. You need to have conversations with people. You also need to parrot. That's one skill that I learned a long time ago, is that I repeat back what people say. That's how you know folks are listening. And so you dropped some knowledge. I got another comment, and same thing. You spoke the truth. You absolutely spoke the truth. One of the words that you used was consistency. And I don't think, I've been working a long time. And what I know to be true is that in any organization, regardless of the demographics of your workforce, consistency is important on both sides. And so I just want to say thank you for dropping that knowledge. It fell on me because those that know me, again, full transparency, folks. I'm a professional woman, but I believe that until you're able to be transparent fully, that's when growth happens. I don't always listen. Sometimes it's just like I want this idea, and I want it to go forward. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people pull me to the side and say, "Hey, we talked about this, and you decided to go in a different direction." And I can't tell you how many times that the results weren't good. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't. The whole point of it all is that it takes courage to speak up. And for my younger audience out there, please speak up. There is a way and there is timing that comes with maturity. That's why it's good to have a mentor. And if you're not sure, I'm sure there's somebody in the room, ask them. I have this idea, can I bring it up now? And for my leaders in the room, when they speak up, I need you to listen. Listen. Please, please, please listen. That's real good. Oh my goodness. That did my heart good, because there's not a whole lot of that. And especially now that we're in a virtual age, it's real easy to not actively listen because of how we're engaging, across the keyboard. But that's another conversation for another day. Um, so I just want to pivot a little bit and get back to your STEM background. I'm gonna keep showing the comments. Mr. Maurice Johnson: when leaders stop listening, eventually followers will stop talking. Again, folks are dropping knowledge. Mr. Johnson is another one. He's a dear friend of mine, and he's also a former coworker. But it is 100% true. And so, since you brought that up, I'm gonna wait and reserve another question for a minute. But I wanna ask you this: um, when what made you, because I know you well enough to know that there was a time when you didn't speak, and then there was a time that you do speak. Tell us and the audience, what was the transition that made you be more comfortable with the sound of your voice, professionally?
So, so to be honest with you, I have had several mentors, yourself included, and others within the workspace. I felt like I either one wasn't knowledgeable or experienced enough to speak up. But once I realized, again, when the light bulb went off and I realized that I did know that, because maybe I didn't speak. And if I had said what I kept in my mind, something could have changed for the better. When I realized that the ideas that I have in my head actually are beneficial, actually can help us, can save us, um, I started speaking up more. Now, did people listen? Not as much as I had hoped in the beginning, of course. But like I said, I kept on talking, I kept on speaking up gradually because I realized that I know what I'm talking about. I may not be right 100% of the time, don't get me wrong, because there are more experienced people and more knowledgeable people, and I love being around them because they help me to grow. But I know what I'm talking about. And what I'm saying, somebody is listening. Maybe not everybody, maybe not the big leaders, but somebody is listening. And what happened was one time that person that was listening to me took it and brought it up to the person, though I said it in front of the leader. They brought it up to that leader. as for themselves. And hey, that actually helped us out. That actually saved the day. And that's what made me realize, okay, because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm you're not gonna get me to shut up. So much that worked out so much that now at work, and speaking about being courageous, I went from being behind the scenes all the time to now I give trainings to a workforce, Marine Corps wide, within a specific on a specific tool within a specific area. Never thought I'd do that. And I'm talking about, it started out with maybe 10, 20 people. Now I'm talking over 100 people at a time. And I don't think y'all understand how much courage went into that. Because 3 years ago, you couldn't tell me I'm going to do that. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it took me continuously talking, or gradually, again, being consistent, gradually speaking up and saying the things that I had up here actually coming out of my mouth, and getting over that hump of being scared to say it because they're not listening to me anyway. They don't want to hear me. They didn't even take what I said before. No. I kept on speaking, I kept on talking. It helped us out in the long run. And I'm talking about work wise, and I'm also talking about organization wise. And now they see a benefit. Now I'm put out there on Front Street to help other people. That's what it's all about for me. That's what it's all about. I'm trying to help the next person. Now, it may have taken us a long time, or maybe not a long time, but it took us a little longer than it should have to get there. But that's okay. That's why I kept speaking up. That's why I want to encourage the next person. Keep speaking up, keep showing up, keep talking, keep saying those things that are up here that you know are right. And it may be wrong, but say it anyway. Why? Because eventually your voice will be heard. And I think I saw Kenya, she said, all it takes is one. Yes, all it takes is one.
Yep, just one.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And it may not be the it may not be the path you thought it should be, but hey, it is what it is. And there was another thing I was gonna say, but it'll come back to me and I'll say it then.
It'll come back. We've got some good comments. I've been putting them up while you've been speaking. You're right. Our friend, who's the owner of My God Is Apparel, said all it takes is one. She also said consistency is key. And Tiara T, that's outstanding. She's giving you some feedback. No, I love it. It the reason why this is important, for those of you that will play this back, that'll watch it later, whether you're live right now, is that we need you. Women are often afraid to speak, afraid to let their voice be heard, and it happens to everyone, regardless of gender. But it's Women's History Month, so we're going to use us as an example, and we are here. Miss Coleman is here to encourage you to continue to speak up. And it doesn't have to necessarily be about a technical issue. It could be about an opportunity. It could be about something that you see would be beneficial to the workforce, to yourself, or the environment, and being able to have the courage to articulate it and share it and make positive change, not just for you, but other folks in your organization. And consistency is key. Part of this discussion was not in our original plans, but I think it's very important, is in that in order to be consistent, you also have to be intentional. And having courage, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, it's not a coat that you take on and off. It is a character trait that stems from being able to sit still, being able to just do it, to move in spite of the fear, to do it with the fear. Those are muscles. If you can imagine the body and what happens if you don't move, the muscles get weak. And so when you're faced with an opportunity where you have to move those muscles, you're not going to be as effective if you don't move the muscle. So I really do hope that you all hear us when we say that courage is a part of your. It's just a part of who you are. And if you are not exhibiting the traits, the consistency that Miss Coleman talked about, it's not too late. it is not too late. We're all works in progress, and that's why we're here, because her story is going to resonate and is already resonating with several people, and that's why we're asking these questions. We're asking these questions. So I have another question that I've asked, and every person has said that's a loaded question. I don't care. I'm going to ask it anyway. Why is having courage important in the STEM space to you?
Because that's how further improvements are made. That's how innovation comes about. And that's just how we excel as we go on, especially within a STEM space and just in life in general. Um, People were scared doing a lot of things, but that's what got us to where we are today. Um, but people had to be courageous, and people had to show up in a place of being uncomfortable, in a place of being scared, in a place of being filled with pain. But to overcome that and keep going, that's how we got to where we are today. All these pioneers we had in the STEM space, for us to have our phones and and go from point A to point B. There was a there was probably a scared young lady. Well, I'm not gonna say she was scared, but she was a courageous lady that helped us to develop the GPS system. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Gladys West. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Dr. Gladys West, indeed, trailblazer.
Trailblazer indeed. We got our hidden figures.
Hmm.
We got, they probably scared out their minds. Y'all seen the movie, but they
Yeah.
were courageous. You have to be you just have to oops, sorry, hit the mic. You have to be a courageous person in order to excel, to get forth within STEM, in the STEM fields. That's what allows the further innovation within science and technology. It's if someone was going to tell us every day, every minute of our lives, what we're supposed to do, go here, do this, do that, nothing's going to come about from that. But people that go out, step outside the box, people that go about and say, hey, I've never done this before, but I'm going to try this. Or, hey, what's the worst that could happen? But that's how we come about with new ideas, new technologies, new things. And that's what we need.
Yes.
That's what we really need. And that's why we need the young people to be
I knew you were
heard.
gonna say it. We need the young
That's
people. We
that's
need
ex
everybody, but definitely you're
everyone.
100% right. We need
Yeah.
everyone, but there's so much innovation, so much creativity that is untapped. I call it untapped talent. So go ahead and finish your statement because I had a question to ask you.
Oh, you're fine. I was going to say we need the young people and others as well, but we really need the young people and what their ideas, what they are wanting to say. We need that heard, and we need that put into action. Because there's so many beneficial ideas that are still stuck in people's minds because they're not heard, or because they fear that they won't be heard, or they feel that fear that that's not what's needed when it really is. So that was all I was going to say.
No, no, that's good, 100% true. For those of you out there that may be thinking, well, I've got courage, and I'm glad that you do, and you're able to kind of activate it. Bravo and hats off to you. If you happen to still not be convinced, and still have reservations about speaking up, I'm going to throw up her information at the end, and maybe you can just give her a buzz, look her up on LinkedIn, and ask her a few questions, because we make it sound easy. There's risks to being courageous, but the risks, I believe, are worth the reward. We were laughing earlier about having being employed and being able to kind of work. And the inside joke is that I had a job in December. And I'm just going to be fully transparent. I decided to focus my attention on Feet Planted LLC. I stepped out in courage. I did things that I didn't think that I was going to do, to include social media, and leaning forward so that I can reach a larger audience. And you're saying, well, what does that have to do with courage? It's not easy to put yourself out there. Everybody can't get on a live and just talk about who they are, and just do it. And so that's my gifting. I don't have a problem with that, because I believe that any opportunity that's out there for me will wait for me to show up. And that's what I want to say to you, is that while you are becoming more courageous, you are stepping closer and closer to the opportunity that is waiting for you. It's just really remarkable to see the transformation when we exercise those gifts and those talents. So, Miss Coleman, thank you so much. I want to ask this question. I don't think I know the answer, but I love asking it because I'm always curious who people are going to pick. So you talked about your parents. You talked about your mentors in academia. I know you have folks that you look up to now. If you could pick from that cadre of folks, who in your life exhibits courage? Who's helped you either more recently be able to exercise those courage muscles so that you can lead in the spaces that you enter?
Now, Karen, it's hard to pick one person. I don't it's hard. I have to pick one. Like, I have to pick one.
You can go but give us two. If that works for you. Pick something.
No, no, honestly, I know I spoke about her earlier. And before I say specific people, I just want to put out there are a lot of people in my life that have shown up and shown out and have been courageous and helped me to be this courageous woman that I am today. There are quite a few of them. And when I say quite a few, a lot. So that's that. But first and foremost, um, at this point in my life, I would love to highlight um my sister Victoria Coleman. Um People there's some people that you see like out on Front Street all the time, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I know them. They're definitely a courageous person, or they're doing great things." But then there's some people you don't always see, or some people who just they may hang back in the shadows. Or, life comes. That doesn't make them any less courageous or any less wonderful. And I wanted to highlight my sister, and she's actually my little sister, one of my little sisters, Victoria Coleman. Life life hit her too. Life has hit her for sure. Um, and she struggled as well, but she kept showing up, and she did a lot of things scared. Um, and that's what she drives me a lot to continue showing up, because like I said before, there are people looking up at me, but I in a way look up at her, and she's younger than me. um Took more of an unconventional route. In our family, we go we go to school. You're gonna get a degree, and then you go to work. Everybody. Well, not everybody, but parents beat that into your head. After high school, you going to school. You getting a degree. But my sister, she took a different route, and she is excelling. Like, Karen, I can't tell you, and I cannot say it enough. She is excelling in her career field. She hope she don't mind me putting all her business out, but she recently just got a promotion, and she is doing the thing. She's a coordinator.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes, she is a coordinator, and she gets rave reviews at work. I hear from several peers that work with her back where she is, that she's doing amazing, and she trains up people. She's being a mentor to other people. She's bringing other people up. She took a different route, right? We had it set out. Our folks told us, you going to school, you getting a degree. I was there when they told her, no, what do you mean you're gonna do something different? And she said, I'm going to go to work now. This is what I want to do for me. And she is doing amazing things. And she doesn't get enough credit. And there are tons of people who don't get the credit that they deserve for being as courageous as they are. So Victoria, you are one of my, actually probably the top courageous person in my life right now that I look up to, that gives me courage. And to see her doing it after all that she's been through, because everybody has a story. Like you said at the very beginning, Karen, everybody has a story. She definitely does as well. So to my little sister, I love you. And she has a courageous story. And that's the person that gives me the courage to keep going and keep doing it scared out here.
That is beautiful. Congratulations, Victoria. I think that that is absolutely honorable. One, because the road less traveled. So when we talk about STEM, a lot of us went to college right after high school. And I've said this before in my previous YouTube videos, college is not for everyone. Some prefer to go into the workforce. You don't have to have a degree in order to contribute in this world and in this life. You just have to be authentically you, and you have to live on purpose. And so I love that you said that Victoria took the how did you phrase it? You said she took a different path. It was
Unconventional.
thank you, the unconventional path. That's a message. Looking at the green button again, you may be out there watching this later or watching this live with us now, and you're looking at other people doing things, excelling, and maybe doing it the typical way with the typical steps. I'm here to tell you that life is not linear. There's going to be opportunities where we are called to a different path, where we're specifically detoured because you need to be here. You may think you're supposed to be here, but when we pivot, you're supposed to be somewhere else. And it's going to take courage to actually assess and understand what's happening. And this is not for me. I'm getting all of this from the notes of the women that have sat in front of me, to include Ms. Coleman. It's going to take bravery to move out on what you know to be right for you when everybody else is saying something different, when everybody else has something to say. You know, the whole adage, everybody's got an opinion. It's going to take courage when you don't know what the answer is and everybody's asking you the question. And I am here to tell you, Miss Coleman has already told you that it is 100% okay to not have the answers, and you need to be celebrated. Oftentimes, especially women of color, we really do carry. I'm not going to call it a burden. We carry a lot because we're in spaces where so oftentimes we're not appreciated. We've already talked about being the only and the few, but outside of that, sometimes even within our own families, in our own friend circles, in our own peer groups, we may be the odd person. We may be that person that is going against the grain. And we are here to tell you that unless you are causing harm to yourself and anybody else, sometimes going against the grain and going it alone is exactly what you need to do. And courage is going to be the boat that you ride in on in order to get to it. Go ahead. I know you had something to say. I can see it.
You saw it, right? It was a brewing. Um, I wanted to highlight that going against the grain and sometimes being that oddball out, like just like I was saying about my sister, as far as her excelling now, right? Taking that different path. It, it takes a lot of courage, just like you said. It takes a lot of courage to be brave, to step out, um, and even with myself, because I wanted to hit on myself, and I also wanted to hit on you, Karen. So it's coming. With myself coming up here to the DMV area, like I just wanted to highlight all my folks are in Alabama. I stepped out and said I'm going to the DC area. I didn't know anybody up here. Like I didn't know anybody. I don't know how to get around. I still use the GPS. Like, um, but like that's courage. So like if you moved out, if you moved away from your family, whether it's 30 minutes down the street or like me, 11 hours driving away, like that's courage. And that takes a lot of it. Taking another path to get towards within school or within work, that's courage. Stepping up to your parents or to whoever, like, because I know there's younger folks watching too. If you step up to your parents in some things, that's courageous as well. Like there's just a lot of different ways. It's not just within the workforce, but that too takes courage, right? But there are other things. If you feel like, well, I'm not a courageous person, I don't show any way of being courageous. Actually, you might just take a step back and look into it. Um, so I just wanted to say that really quick. The other thing I also wanted to say was Karen, because she just okay. Now I'm gonna talk to the green light, and whenever Karen says talking to the green light, she's talking to y'all, okay? Because we're looking right at the camera.
Right.
Karen, Karen also is a courageous person. Like I don't think, just like we were saying, people don't get talked about enough. I don't think you get talked about enough either about stepping out and developing this platform of Feet Planet LLC. Because I'm gonna be honest, before there was Feet Planet helped me. Like, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. Um, and so and now that Feet Planet LLC is here, Feet Planet is continuously helping me. But Karen also is a courageous person. Feet Planet LLC comes from courageous person, from a courageous background of individuals. Because the other thing about being courageous, you don't know what it looks like when you do something. You don't know what that outcome looks like. You don't know what's on the other side waiting for you. You're going at it in the dark, but you have the best intentions in play. You also are going at it with your best efforts, and you have the hope and desire and the dream that you're going to either make a difference or you're going to do something that gets you to this excelling place, right? But you're doing it from a place of, I'm probably scared, I'm probably uncomfortable, I don't know if this is going to happen, I don't even know what this is going to look like in a year. Like, so I just wanted to
Fact.
also highlight, right? I was an insider, but anyway, but I just wanted to highlight, like, you too, Karen, with Feet Planet LLC, are a woman leading with courage. So I just wanted to throw that out there too. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. I'm learning to say thank you. I did not tell her to say that. I appreciate the accolades. I will take them. Thank you so very much. I this has been and is a wonderful conversation. It's always a joy when we're able to chop it up, learn from each other, and inspire each other. I do want to have a disclaimer. It's not a disclaimer. It's just a comment to all of you out there, you younger folks, parents. If your children watch this and they step up to you in courage, do not come for me. Okay. What we mean is that with respect and making sure that everything is done decently and in order. Um, it is hard to go against the grain, especially when it's family stuff. It really is. Our had a guest on here, Dr. Daphne Cherie. She told her parents she didn't want to go to medical school. I'm pretty sure that when you regardless of the scholarship, when folks found out that you were picking up and moving all the way to the DMV, I'm sure they were like, "Why? There's stuff around here that you can do." So I just wanted to let everybody know that courage is important, and it is imperative that you actually take the time to think about who you want to be, and when the opportunity comes, when you've got that how she described it was the pit in your stomach, like that feeling that makes you extremely nervous. Sometimes that is the edge of you becoming exactly who you're supposed to be. Don't run away from it. This has been an amazing month. I'm not even looking at the time, folks. If you've got something to do, I know it's a little bit after now. Go ahead and do those things. I did want to put in the I did want to say that if you have a question for Ms. Coleman, please put those questions up. We'll be happy to answer them. She'll be happy to answer them, not me. But I want to humbly say thank you to you for taking the time out to share your story. It's not easy to do. Again, everybody's got something to say. But what I have learned in my maturation process is that I surround myself with people who tell me truth. I'm learning to listen. I am learning that opportunity will find me. Opportunity will find you. And when it does, all you have to do is walk in it and expect to make mistakes. One of the things that I love about each woman, to include Ms. Coleman, that has been on this platform, is they have been transparent about the face plant. This young lady, even though through hard circumstances, left her major. Folks, that's hard when you put in 2 years in a discipline and then having to start over. But look at the fruit. Look at who she is now. I am biased and I don't care. She's a remarkable woman, a woman of faith, a extremely respectable worker in her field, very intelligent, and she is definitely leading with courage. So, as custom, and if questions come in, we'll get to those. As custom, I give my guests the last word. So, what is it, Miss Joccelyn E. Coleman, that you would like to leave with our audience as we close out Women's History Month 2023?
Man, I think a few things I just want to say to all women out there. Even if you don't have a title of leadership or the recognition, the active recognition of being somewhere in leadership, you are and can be a leader. You probably are a leader right now. Um, you see my title on the screen. I'm a computer scientist. But at my job, where I work, I'm a leader there. I am. I take people under my wing. People come to me for questions, for advice. I put on different things to help people. I help people to learn about different aspects, especially within risk management, which is what I work within, the risk management framework process. I'm a leader in that. In different organizations, I'm a leader there. With my friends, I exert leadership qualities that they come to me and ask me for advice on. And I don't know all the answers. Most times, I'm like, okay, we just gonna see if this works. We just gonna see if this works. But I just want to encourage everyone to keep showing up, men and women. But to my women for sure, I want to say, because I know at times it can be harder for us. We may not feel heard. We may feel like we're examined over, not taken seriously rather. And I'm saying that because I felt that way. Either I have felt that way, or there may still be hints of it. Keep showing up. Keep doing it. You out there, you doing the dang gone thing. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And if you feel scared, that's okay. You keep being scared, because if you keep working through that, it will pay off in the long run. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And then the last thing I just wanted to say was of course I didn't share like my full story with you all today, but I'm always here. You can definitely hit me up, or hit me up. Contact me and we can definitely talk more. But examine your life. If you think that you're not a courageous person, you probably are. You're looking at someone. I have no shame in saying I'm 30 years old. I've been, out of school and working now for a little bit over 3 years. I moved away. I jumped several states to come and work here, to a place I didn't know anyone. I've had to build up relationships, build up networks, and really learn, and continuously learning how to do several things so that I may excel. I'm behind the scenes on several different things, including with Feet Planted and other places. You're looking at someone who, again, as I'm talking to you, saying this right now, I'm a courageous person because I do some of these things out of a place of discomfort, out of a place of, at times, being scared, being terrified. I do some of these things from a painful place too, because that's another thing. Karen, we might have to talk about that another time too. Doing things when it pains you to do it. That's courage. Um, and there's currently things going on in my life, and I continue to show up. You're looking at two courageous women right here. And if you were to turn your I'm talking to the green light, like you said. If you if you were on this platform too, but all of y'all listening, y'all are courageous as well. I know you are. But I'm here, my story. Thank you for listening to my story. Um, I always feel like it's not, well, I don't want to say I don't think it's that great, but I just believe there's other people out there who make more of an impact, but I am glad to know that I make an impact on somebody. So I hope this blessed someone. And if it didn't, just don't tell me. But if you would
It
like to,
definitely did.
but if you would like to talk, like to further get further information, if I can help you in any way, especially within the STEM field, if you're young, interested in the SMART program, want to know different ideas when it comes to computer science, especially cybersecurity, networking, or if you just don't know where to start or what to say and you just want to talk, I'm here. Feel free to hit me up. And that's how I'm going to end this.
Wonderful. I'm gonna throw up the last comment. Yay, JC. This is from my partner in life. He said, "That's my sister there." What a wonderful way to close out the program. So what I normally do is I say thank you so much. We're going to see, it's Friday. See, I don't know what some of you all are doing, but after we close out, we'll probably breathe a sigh of relief and continue the conversation just a little bit. But like I said, I'm going to put her information on the screen. If you, as she has already said, are interested in talking to her, you can find her on LinkedIn, Joccelyn Coleman. Please, please, please reach out. This is a pleasure for me to sit across so many amazing women. But as we close out Women's History Month, I'm about to put this music on again. You know why? Because it's good. I love it. And we're still gonna talk. We're still gonna vibe out. You can hear it. I'm not going to make it too loud so that you can still hear me. But you have, if you've been here for the entire time, thank you so very much. If you've been listening and tuning in after the fact to all of the women that I've had on my platform, thank you so very much. You will be able to find all of the women that have been featured for Women Leading and Courage on my website at www.feetplantedllc.com. Click on their image and it'll take you directly to a YouTube video of this segment. And then if you click on their names, it'll take you to where you can reach them. I have had an absolutely fun time this evening. It has been a pleasure. Ms. Coleman, how was it for you?
This was great. I can come back. Let's see. I can come back next month, the month after that. No, but honestly,
you're gonna be back.
No, honestly, this has been great. Again, I'm used to behind the scenes, so thank you for inviting me to be on screen and in front. It's kind of different for me, but it's good. I love this.
It is, this baby. A little bit's out of the corner. She's not sitting over here in the cut anymore. She is front and center. Thank you so much to all of my supporters, all of the folks that were commenting, everyone who has poured into me and I consider a friend. If we are friends that have not met, you know how to reach me again, www.feetplantedllc.com. Stay tuned for more content. I'm going live every month as usual. Stay tuned. Mark your calendars for May. There's going to be a treat for you coming for Mother's Day, as well as June. So I need you to stay tuned. I need you to hang in there with me. And more importantly, I need you to live courageously. Until we talk again, you all have a wonderful night and a great weekend. Thank you to my partner for life for curating this beat that I love and that I vibe to. Y'all gonna see me bop a little bit. We're gonna bop a little bit on Friday. It's Friday, y'all, as we go out of here. You all have an absolutely great day. Thank you for watching.